when Satan deceived Eve in the Garden of Eden, came to her and deceived her, and she was perfect, never had sinned, but she still had a will, a choice to choose right and wrong, correct?
That's correct.
Correct. Okay. When it came to Job, Satan came to God to ask, to go to Job and see if he would turn against you.
Right.
I'm trying to understand. I wonder why, or is it why, or is there a reason, or is it something learned that why Satan came to God to get at Job, but he went directly to Eve?
No, it's a good question. Sometimes, Anthony, people will say, well, God gave Eve a choice, and then she chose, like Adam, to rebel against God, that she was just like us. Isn't that the thing that we would do? No, she was not just like us. That's a very uninformed statement that people often make. She was very different from us in that she did not have a sin nature at the point. When God created her, he created her with her perfection, like he made Adam. They had no sin nature, so Satan was not appealing to the fallen nature within as he does today with believers and unbelievers alike. But he was appealing to her free will, and she indeed had a choice. Had not God given Adam and Eve a choice, then of course they would be more robotic than they would be people. And part of being made in the image of God, the imago Dei, as it's often referred to from the Latin, is that man has a free will. And you see that in Genesis 2:16. From any tree in the garden you may eat freely, but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat from it you shall certainly die. Now, Job's situation is very, very different. He, of course, lives at a different time. He is a post-fall individual. And we're told there was a day when the sons of God, the B'nai Elohim, the term sons of God is a term that is used in the scripture for someone who is a direct creation of God. So Adam, for instance, is called a son of God. He's a direct creation of God. When we are born again, God calls us in the epistles sons of God, and it's, of course, used generically, sons and daughters of God. Well, angels are a direct creation of God. Angels don't cohabitate and create little baby cherubs. So the sons of God, and the term is used of both holy angels and fallen angels. And so, for instance, we read in the context determines everything in Genesis 6, the B'nai Elohim, the sons of God, cohabitated with the daughters of men. So the sons of men did not cohabitate with the daughters of men, but the sons of God, certain angels, cohabitated with the daughters of men. So here, like in Genesis 6, these are contextually referring to fallen angels. There was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" Then Satan answered the Lord and said, "From roaming about on the earth and walking around on it." The Lord, Yahweh, said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? For there is no one like him on earth, a blameless and upright man, fearing God and turning away from evil." Then Satan answered the Lord, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge about him and his house and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But put forth your hand now and touch all that he has, and he'll surely curse you to your face." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in your power, only do not put forth your hand on him." So Satan departed from the presence of the Lord. So here is this fallen angel who comes into the presence of God, and some of the demons are already there, and we are told that Satan has access into the heavenly realm. A day will come when God will change all of that. He'll cleanse the whole universe, burn the one that we have with fire, and only perfection will once again reign in every dimension. But I think this is somewhat of a unique case. Sometimes God does something once in order to make a statement. I was dialoguing last night, my wife and I, with a young woman that God opened the door to allow us to share the gospel with. And one of her objections that she actually said that she had attended our church on one occasion, and she said, your church seems to be against homosexuality. And I said, well, yes, we're against homosexuality, but we're not against homosexual people. And we got into this dialogue about, the rightness of it. And I said, well, if you want to know how God feels about homosexuality, I quoted a few verses, Romans 1, 1 Corinthians 6, Leviticus. But I said, God burned the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into non-existence. Now, God doesn't destroy every Sodomite city. Sometimes he does something once in order to make a statement. And, of course, the book of Jude sustains that view, that they are an example of how God feels about the sin of homosexuality. So we got into a dialogue like that. And this, I think, is one of those unique examples. In other words, I don't think Satan is going to come into the heavenly realm and say, Anthony down there in Beaufort County, the only reason he serves you is because you've really blessed him. But, take away all the ways that you've blessed him. We'll see if he'll really serve you. And God was really demonstrating the righteousness of Job. And God even brought, have you not considered my servant Job? Why does God want to bring that up? I think, among other things, to strengthen the polemic, the argument that no one can discount, that the dialogue that's going to transpire in the next 40 chapters is a dialogue that is absolutely true. It's grounded in the heart of a man that truly, genuinely follows the Lord. And so from Job 1 all the way until Job 42, God demonstrates that this is a man who really is made of the right stuff, that he's not serving God because God bought him through the blessings, but he's serving God because he's a man of integrity. And that becomes the background and the basis for the argument that's going to follow in the book of Job. So it's somewhat unique, and God has a purpose in it. And just like there are other somewhat unique events that you will find in other realms of biblical history.
Dr. Carl Broggi answers your questions about the Bible and living the Christian life Tuesday mornings at 11 on The Light 88.7 FM and online around the world at wagp.net.